Hello and welcome. My name is Andrea Birnbaum, and I have been a professional photographer and educator for about 25 years. I've taught students of all levels, from kindergarten through adults. I currently teach online for a university and locally at a private school in the United States, as well as photo workshops through the Maine Media Workshops and College in Rockport, Maine. I'm going to show you some examples of therapeutic photography projects I have done with youth, primarily young women, around the country. I first learned about Wendy Ewald's work many years ago and started using her book, The Best Part of Me, as a guide while teaching children in inner city Detroit, Michigan, in an after-school program. In this project, we asked the students to think about their favorite part of themselves, and most importantly, why, and then combine their photograph that is taken with their direction with their words. The project helps kids feel a sense of pride in themselves and gives them a voice they may not have had before. And they have a lot of fun doing it. I also used this project in Selma, Alabama at a high school. Obviously, this is an exercise that works equally well with younger and older youth. The results are more complex with the older youth and thoughtful and can be quite touching. I first started using therapeutic photography techniques at a residential facility for troubled girls in Michigan. They live at the facility, whose goal is to help these young women get back on their feet through counseling, education, and by supporting them in learning how to function in the real world. I met with 2 different groups each week for an hour and a half each time over a 9-month period. I created a publication outlining this work and presented it to the New Jersey Arts and Education Association conference 2 years ago. In the first project, we began by talking about metaphor in the most simplistic terms, about how objects could stand in for feelings they were having. Then they went outside to make photographs, which they then had to write about why they made the image and what it meant to them. This was a very easy way of getting the students to relax, have fun, and examine how they were feeling. They also brought out objects that were meaningful to them and photographed those as well. We would look at everyone's work and talk about how the image expressed what they felt. We then talked about other ways that these feelings could be expressed visually. I'm pretty sure it was because all of these young women were all in counseling at the same time, but many of their insights were pretty remarkable to me. This is Bailey. Bailey's writing and photograph became the title of the project. She photographed the puddle because it shows that even if things are upside down, you can still see the sun. Bailey was nearing the end of her time at the residential facility, having graduated from the high school program there and had been working part-time off campus. It was a really wonderful day when I went to photograph her at her new house, where she pays her own rent, where she lives with her cat. You can see how proud she was. Zaylin was another young woman who was nearing the end of the program. When I asked her where she would like me to make a last portrait of her, rather than go somewhere pretty, she wanted to be photographed in front of a place that looked like where she grew up, with her back to it, to show how her past was behind her. Excuse me. She chose to wear a red plaid shirt because she said there are a lot of different plaid shirts out there in different colors, but just like people, they are all the same, but with their own personalities. So proud of her for her metaphors and for graduating high school. At the facility, this final project, called Looking Forward, was conceived as a way for the girls to visualize themselves in a better place. The residents had already made mood boards in a previous class, so this was another way for them to be able to view themselves in the future. These were done using royalty-free images and Photoshop. I asked them where they dreamed about going. A digital composite was created to show them in their dream location, so they could look at this picture as motivation to help them achieve their goals. For this project, students began to articulate and creatively describe where they were from through an abstract poetry writing prompt, similar to the old Mad Libs. I then worked collaboratively with the students to create a self-portrait they feel accurately represented them, and we merged the two images. Based on the book Where I'm From by George Ella Lyons, prompts direct the students to fill in personal details like foods they grew up eating and family traditions. Making the portraits into duotones and adding their favorite color was a fun way to create a more abstract work of art, although the straight portrait could also be used. Recently in my teaching, I've had the girls make their own self-portraits with a regular camera or a cell phone. This work has appeared in school art shows, and in 2020 I showed this work at a photo festival in Selma, Alabama. And each year since then, I have spent 2 days with high school students in Selma to create poetic portraits with them and exhibiting their work at the festival as well. If you have any questions, please feel free to give me a call or send me an email. I love exchanging ideas with other practitioners. I'd like to thank Neil Gibson for this opportunity. Thank you very much for watching my presentation.